We're just going to go over some stuff that should be somewhat review for you. I know you did this a few years ago. We're just going to be looking at the areas of parallelograms, squares, and rectangles. Actually, squares and rectangles are both parallelograms. So areas of parallelograms, we're going to look at some of the properties that they all share. So if you're looking right here, you'll see that I have a square. Now, if you have a square, and let's just say we have one side is 1 foot and the other side is 1 foot. If we wanted to find the area of the square, we just multiply 1 times 1 because we go length times width, which are both equal because it's a square in this case. And that would equal 1 foot squared. And remember, you always put the unit with the little squared sign after it so that you know what units we're talking about. Now let's switch it up a little bit. Still staying on the square. This should all kind of come across as review to all of you. I hope, at least I hope it does. Now remember, if this is a square, each side has to be the same or else it's not a square. So we keep that in mind. Let's take a look. What if we went 3 feet on a side? If we went 3 feet, 3 feet, 3 feet, we'd have 3 times 3 equals 9 feet squared. If we switched it up and that became inches, something like 2 inches, 2 inches, we would have 2 times 2 equals 4 inches squared. And that lets you know what the units are. Okay, so pretty straightforward dealing with a square, and I hope that that is all just a reminder for you. Now let's look at a rectangle. So I chose a rectangle that we're going to say is, well, let's just say that it is 6 feet long by 3 feet high. And we will find the area, just go by going 6 times 3, and 6 times 3 equals 18 feet squared. Cool. Fairly straightforward, just like a square, except that, you go length times width, right? So length, remember, area is always length times width. So that's length, that's width. Usually width is a shorter measure. So if we look over here at this parallelogram, so we've taken that triangle and tilted it to the, or we've taken that rectangle and tilted it to the side. Same thing, we are looking for the height times the base. So if the base right here is, if the base was 6 centimeters and the height was 3 centimeters, then we would still go 6 times 3 equals 18 centimeters squared. Now remember, don't go by this number on the side. So do not use the slanty. We're looking for height, base times height. So if it gets all tilty like this, then it is base times height. On the worksheet, they're going to throw you a few curveballs. They'll rotate some of the figures, and you just need to remember that, just go for that longest length to get the base, and then look for it to list the height, and you multiply the two by each other to get the area of that parallelogram